Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow senators of the sewer, fellow dictators of the dojo, and of course, my fellow presidents of pizza. We're gathered here for the State of the Sewer, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles news show every Turtle Tuesday, so thank you for joining me. Got a lot of fun news to get into tonight, a lot of random stuff. So get excited, everybody. Press the like button, type a T in the chat, and let's go! Hello. Welcome to my Ninja Turtles channel. How are you? This is the Ninja Turtle Show. It's 8 p.m. in the Big Apple. It's your weekly live stream every Turtle Tuesday, covering Ninja Turtles news, toys, cartoons, comics, video games, and more. Whatever the show we want. And tonight's show's gonna be fun. We got a lot to get to tonight. The chat is moving. The chat is on fire. Hello, everybody. I'd like to say hello. Dalton, Raffi, the Demon Turtle, Mr. Turtle. How's it going? Leona, JR24, Krusty Krab, Wistful. Gathered here today. Veronica, hello, Gabby. Got the whole crew hanging out. Should be a fun show. Should be an exciting show. A lot of random stuff to get to tonight on this episode of the Ninja Turtle Show. Every Turtle Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. We're rocking out tonight.
Give it up, Shredder. You're history.
It's Turtle Tuesday. It's a dance party. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe over on Rumble as well. And of course, follow my Ninja Turtles channel on Twitter at my TMNT channel. Gonna be a fun show. Got a lot to get to. Of course, live stream every Turtle Tuesday. And a video every Thursday and every Saturday. And last week we had some fun videos. We had this video about the Warriors of the Forgotten Sewer. This was a toy line and it was also a mini comic. Put out a little video on this one. Came out in 1994. This is one of those random old things. You know, the random old Ninja Turtles videos, they're not as popular as the Mutant Mayhem videos and stuff like that. But this was a neat one. And Mr. Turtle left a great comment. He said, the designs are great, toys look awesome, and the art is fantastic. Great comment, Mr. Turtle. Always a great commenter. And I also released this video celebrating 30 years of TMNT 1993. The third live-action Turtles movie that came out in 1993 celebrated its 30th anniversary over the weekend on March 19th, 2 days ago. So I put out a little video about this one, celebrating the 1993 movie. And of course, it was a good movie. It lived a little bit in the shadows of the first two movies, the first two live-action movies. And many people think this movie, the third one in the trilogy, was a step down from the first two. It was cool to see him in the samurai costumes, but pretty much universally agreed upon that the Jim Henson suits in the first two movies are better than these. People feel this movie is overlit. It's a little bit too bright. You can see everything. It looks like a sitcom. But the story was fun. The actors did a great job. The story was cool. They traveled back in time. Sometimes this movie is called Ninja Turtles 3: Turtles in Time. Mr. Turtle says, I love this film as a TMNT fan, not objectively. Another great Mr. Turtle comment. Mr. Turtle is on fire. Mr. Turtle should just publish these one-sentence reviews instead of me wasting my time doing a whole video. Mr. Turtle said on the TMNT 1993 video, happy birthday, TMNT 3. Although you weren't that good, you still hold a somewhat fond place in my heart. And I think that kind of sums it up for most people. They feel the costumes were downgraded a little bit. It was Toidle's favorite when Toidle was a kid. Krusty Krab says they look sort of weird in it. I think so too. I agree. It was a fun movie. It was very lighthearted. Dalton wants to see behind the scenes for this movie. It's an interesting behind the scenes for stuff like this. I think it's interesting too. They brought back Casey Jones, of course. And this movie had a bigger plot. They traveled in time. They went to Japan. It's an interesting movie, a lot different. And of course, those costumes, they have the spots on them and they look different than the first two movies. Hey, SR Striker, how's it going? You didn't miss a thing. Got some samurai costumes. An overall pretty good movie, TMNT 1993, celebrating 30 years. Released in 1993. Really old stuff. And also, when this movie was released back in 1993, March 19th, 1993, the city of Los Angeles, actually, the mayor had a proclamation. The mayor of Michelangelo. And they said as long as the Ninja Turtles are good citizens and have good values and impart values such as honesty, self-esteem, respect, and good citizenship to children, as long as they fight for the principles of justice and personal integrity, and as long as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 came out on March 19th, Tom Bradley, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, on behalf of its citizens, hereby proclaims Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Day, March 19th, which we celebrated on Sunday. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff from Mayor Tom Bradley. Let's type a T in the chat for Tom Bradley. T for Tom Bradley, former mayor of Los Angeles. T for Turtles. And T for thank you, Tom Bradley, for declaring March 19th, Ninja Turtles Day, back in 1993. I know Star Wars has May the 4th. You know, that's like Star Wars Day, May the 4th. May the Force be with you. And Ninja Turtles Day, March 19th, not as special. I wish Ninja Turtles had a bigger day. Sometimes Ninja Turtles Day is celebrated on Cinco de Mayo, on May 5th, because that's when the Turtles were originally released at a comic book convention way back in 1984. So it's like Ninja Turtles Day is March 19th, but the Turtles' birthday is May 5th. There's not one big day where everyone can celebrate Ninja Turtles. And I wish there was. I wish there was like a May the 4th kind of thing. With the Turtles. Star Wars has May the 4th. I wish there was a day like that for Turtles where everyone could celebrate and it'd be a big thing, but somehow March 19th or Cinco de Mayo, it just doesn't have the same feel to it, but we'll get them one day and we'll figure it out one day. Ninja Turtles fans are always going to be there, but just wanted to share that. I thought that was an interesting thing. And while we're talking about those old 90s movies, that old vintage live action kind of stuff, wanted to talk about something from Shapeshift Records. I wasn't familiar with Shapeshift Records until I saw this. But I saw Shapeshift Records posted on Twitter. They are a company, they do the raddest scores and soundtracks of the 80s and 90s reimagined in nostalgic 16-bit audio, pressed on vinyl. Pardon me, pressed on vinyl. So what they do is they take old movie scores, they take old vintage movies from the 80s and 90s, and they give them like a video game soundtrack, like a 16-bit Super Nintendo kind of sound. They take the soundtrack and they make it like a chiptune video game soundtrack, and then they press it on vinyl. So they take movies, video games, and vinyl and combine all three of them. And they released a video recently, a little teaser with a little pixelated version of New York. Look familiar, anybody? City crime escalates, a little video game version of a certain movie you may remember. And even a little pixelated video game version of 1990 April O'Neil, Judith Hogue. So Shapeshift Records announced they are releasing a record called Pizza Dude's Got 30 Seconds, a 16-bit reimagining of the score to the 1990 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they are taking the score, the soundtrack, to the original live-action Turtles movie with the Jim Henson suits. They're turning it into this video game music. It's going to be a double LP, 2 vinyl records, the whole score, the whole soundtrack. They may be even doing some of those pop tunes as well. 9.95, TURTLE power. I'm not sure. Pizza Dude's Got 30 Seconds. It's coming out in a little bit, so they did this little plug, a little teaser, and I was excited to see this. I was excited to hear it too. They have a little bit of sample. They have a little bitty sample of the score, the soundtrack, and it has that vintage, like Nintendo style music. And it's on their Twitter. They have a little video with a teaser of the music. And it's really great to hear the music in a video game style. It's like if there was a video game based on the 1990 movie, this is what the score would sound like. Leona says, my mom still says Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds every time she and my dad get pizza. That's a good mom joke. Never gets tired. Can I play it or will it be copyrighted? I think it might be copyrighted, so I'm not going to play it, but it's available on their Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Shapeshift Records. Shapeshift vinyl. It's just a few seconds sample as well. And honestly, it sounds exactly like the movie soundtrack. The movie soundtrack has kind of that old school Nintendo video game 80s feel, and the music, the video game version sounds pretty similar, but check it out. Shapeshift Records, Shapeshift vinyl. Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds. It's going to be a record for all you record vinyl collectors out there. You're going to have the soundtrack on vinyl in a video game format. So if you're into that old vintage stuff, I think this is for you. Pretty cool stuff. And as long as we're talking about old vintage stuff from the 80s and 90s, old turtle stuff, some of you might be familiar with the sewer map. These used to come with toys. These were like packaged in toys, these little maps. Actually big maps. And they came packaged with toys, and there was a bunch of them. There were 7 maps, and they have all these little doodles and drawings, and they all fit together too. Each map gets pieced together, and you can see how the maps line up and forms this big giant map. Forms this big giant like play place, almost like a whole sewer map with all the characters in it. And someone took these old maps, spliced them together, like scanned them into the computer, spliced them together, and colored them in. And it is beautiful to see all this artwork in full color. This is old stuff from the 80s and 90s. And they took all the maps, they spliced them together, and they colored it in, and it looks really cool. This is a really interesting thing, and it looks great in color. So if you zoom in, if you zoom in on the sewer map, you can see all these little details that are drawn in, little characters and vehicles, and little locations like around New York, and all sorts of Ninja Turtles icons, the Shredder, the Turtle Copter, PandaCon, Baxter Stockman, the Killer Bee, Casey Jones, and it has this whole like play place, and someone colored it in, and it's really just interesting to see how people work together. Someone scanned all these in, and then someone else spliced them together, and then a third person colored it all in, and he said it took him about a month. And the coloring looks really good. It's nothing too fancy. They just did a faithful job coloring everything in, and they didn't take any liberties. They colored it in just like the toys and the toy art packaging. And it looks really good. It's really interesting to see this stuff colored in. The old Technodrome driller thing. You could see Slash and Splinter there in the center of the screen. Toidle says, I got that helicopter. And so it's just really neat to see all this. Someone took the time to color it all in, and there's probably Ninja Turtles fans out there that have been waiting to see something like that since they were kids. So I just wanted to pass that along. And the person that colored that in, person where I saw it from, it was someone on the Ninja Turtles Reddit, Risinger Productions, Marvel Rocks 616. So I'm not sure who they are. I think it's just some guy that wanted to color them in, but did a good job, did a faithful job, a lot of work. It's like a Where's Waldo kind of thing, or Where's Wally. And they did a great job. It's really interesting to see that someone took the time to color this in. And now to bring us into the present day. Present day stuff. Mr. Turtle, I know it'd take a while since you have to use the fill bucket tool and color it in bit by bit. Yeah, I think that's how they did it, just piece by piece. Next thing I wanted to talk, another vintage thing. I found this old Cowabunga. Reading is totally awesome. Vintage poster. And it reminded me, some people are always looking, where can I start the comic books? Where do I find Ninja Turtles comic books? How can I read these? Where do I start? And I just wanted to recommend checking out your local library. It's a goofy thing to recommend a library, but they have a lot of Ninja Turtle books. If you go there, they have trade paperback collections and hardcover books of the old original Mirage Studios comics. Of course, the originals that were built and created by Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman way back in the 80s. They have those, and they have the new IDW stuff as well. So I feel like I'm doing like a school, like an after-school special PSA or something, but they have all the comic books. They're free to rent. They have a ton of them. You go in, they have IDW collections, volumes, 15 volumes of IDW. So if you want to read these, you don't want to pay for them, it's free. You don't have Comixology or something, check out your local library. They also have, if you can't find the stuff to stream anywhere or something, if you still watch DVDs, if you like DVDs, you can rent DVDs of the various different shows too. So I just want to recommend going to the library, checking it out. They have a good selection, and sometimes your local library, if they don't have a book that you want, you can order it and they'll just buy it and let you rent it. So it's nice. And like I said, it's free. Reading is cool. Guess what? Reading is totally awesome. So I wanted to recommend checking out your local library. Krusty Krab remembers Book Fair back in 2015 that had TMNT and Ghostbusters crossover comic. Yeah, so if there's anything you can't find, or maybe something it's expensive or something. And while we're talking about reading, I wanted to mention the Reading Fighting Phils. It's actually the Reading Fighting Phils. Reading is a city in Pennsylvania, but I had to do that for the nice segue. Reading to reading. It's actually Reading, but the Reading Fighting Phils is a baseball team. It's a AA affiliate baseball team. It's like a minor league team, like a farm feeder team that feeds into the MLB, the baseball league. And the Reading Fighting Phils are doing something in June. They're having a Ninja Turtles night. Baseball team is putting on a Ninja Turtles night. The Fightin' Phils versus the Rumble Ponies. If you thought Phils were a funny mascot, Rumble Ponies are even funnier. So, wonder how they chose Phil. I wonder if there's just some, who should we have it as a mascot? How about Phil? He fights, Phil likes to fight. How about he's our mascot? Phil. Fighting Phils versus the Rumble Ponies, June 10th, 6:45, Ninja Turtles night. So if you're in Pennsylvania, you're in the Northeast, check it out. They're going to have Ninja Turtles jerseys worn by the players, and they'll be auctioning them off, and there's also a fireworks show. So if you live in the Northeast, you're in Pennsylvania, you're near there, they're going to have these jerseys, themed jerseys, Ninja Turtles jerseys, the Reading Fighting Phils. June 10th. So it's a few months out, but I saw tickets were pretty affordable. I think some tickets were like $3 or $6. Pretty good stuff. I mean, it's like a lower league team. It's still going to be good baseball, good sports, fun to hang out. But the jerseys look good too. The jerseys are based on the original 1987 cartoon show, of course. This is kind of the standard default Turtles look. It has that cartoony design. It has the not basic look, but it's like a standard iconic look. Even though this is like 35 years old or whatever, it's the most iconic version of the Turtles. Even though the show really doesn't hold up that well, I would say it's the most iconic version of the Turtles. And they're not doing the 2012 jerseys. They're not doing Rise jerseys or even Mutant Mayhem jerseys, which is going to be coming out in a few months. They're doing 1987. So it's interesting they chose to do that. And I also looked at the tickets. Like I said, they're affordable, $5-10. I think the most expensive ticket was like $40, and it comes with like dinner, like unlimited food and dinner and like upgrades and maybe like not a suite, but more perks. And I also saw, in addition to the jerseys, it's going to be Ninja Turtles night. They're saying that they're going to have a surprise character appearance and photo session. So I'm not sure if the Turtles are going to appear as mascots. We've seen the Rise Turtles as mascots and the 2012 Turtles as mascots. I don't know if they're going to have a mascot costumed live version of the Mutant Mayhem Turtles hanging out at the baseball game. But we will see. June 10th is a few months away. So I just wanted to recommend that to all of you. Wanted to throw it out there. Ninja Turtles night, Reading, Pennsylvania, Fighting Phils versus the Rumble Ponies. Check it out. That was a cool thing. Now we have worked our way up into the present day. We talked about all the old vintage stuff, the old live action movies. We talked about albums and vinyl and sewer maps and the 1987 Turtles. Now it's time to talk about present day. Mutant Mayhem comes out August 4th. Are you excited for this movie? I know I am. Leona says John Cena has a beautiful singing voice. Maybe Rocksteady will have a singing part in the Mutant Mayhem movie. That would be pretty funny. I liked the musical episode of Rise of the TMNT. I thought that was funny that they had that whole like musical episode. They had a lot of music involved. Good stuff. But yeah, Mutant Mayhem, of course. Last week we talked about all the toys being released. Showing what the toys are going to look like. Giant toys, regular toys, talking toys, the sewer lair, role-play toys, the vehicles, and they look good. I'm excited for this stuff. I'm excited for Mutant Mayhem. I'm excited for all the merchandising and advertising. And over the past week, there's been some leaks. There's been some leaks here that I won't be showing, of course, but did want to mention there was a cereal box leaked, a Mutant Mayhem cereal box. Looked good, like some Lucky Charms kind of cereal. There's also some masks, like some Halloween masks. And looks like they're going to be doing some Halloween stuff. There's also some Halloween baskets, like candy baskets and tricks like that for, trick-or-treating and turtle masks, 4 different turtle masks. And the thing I thought was interesting, they're going to sell turtle masks individually, and they're also going to sell a Ninja Turtle shell that comes with like a belt and 4 different initials. So no matter which turtle you are, you can buy the shell and put on the initial on the belt for which turtle you want to be. An L, a D, an R, an M for Michelangelo. So whatever one you want. Going to be cool around this Halloween. There's going to be Mutant Mayhem Ninja Turtles costumes. Possibly. This is a leak. It could be wrong. But also wanted to mention there was another storyboard leak. There was a storyboard leak back in January, and there was another more involved, more intense storyboard leak over the weekend. And I didn't want to look at the leak. Teddy Gaming Review in the chat. The cereal box changed my mind on Rocksteady, and now I think he looks decent enough. Yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady are on the cereal box from a different angle, a different pose, and they look pretty good. It's interesting to see the new take on the classic version of the Turtles, and I noticed none of the Turtles have their weapons on the cereal box either, so interesting marketing for that. Interesting marketing. Well, we have Teddy Gaming Review here. I wanted to congratulate Teddy Gaming Review. He has recently had a video with 1 million views. Our friend, Teddy Gaming Review, million view millionaire, released a short video a while back and it garnered 1 million views. So congratulations, Teddy Gaming. T for Teddy Gaming Review to celebrate another cool Ninja Turtles channel. 1 million views. And of course, Teddy got paid £1 million, €1 million, $1 million. That's of course how it works. You get 1 million views, you get $1 million. Teddy Gaming's life has totally changed since he has 5,000 subscribers, of course. He's surrounded right now by Ninja Turtles groupies. He has a whole harem of fans. He's fighting them off with a stick. He can't, he's in a whole new stratosphere right now. Teddy Gaming Review, great guy, and congratulations, of course. But next thing I wanted to mention about the 2023 movie, while we're talking about it, now that we're done congratulating Teddy Gaming Review for a 1 million view video. Congratulations. The controversy surrounding April O'Neil continues. People continue to argue about April O'Neil. It's a real hot button thing. And it's one of those things that's moved out beyond just Ninja Turtles fans. Drama channels are talking about it. Political channels are talking about it. It's made its way into the public, the general public. It's not just contained to Ninja Turtles channels anymore. And it continues to be a controversial thing. Like I said, last week, someone referred to her as April Obese. And I read this week, someone wrote that she looks more like Shrek than the Turtles. And, mean stuff going both ways. Some people said that if you don't like the new look, I don't want you listening to my Ninja Turtles podcast. Some people just say she's big and fat and ugly, and it goes both ways. And people are saying if you don't like her look, you're part of a hate group, and I don't get it. But I just wanted to say all viewpoints are welcome here. You like her, you don't like her. Feel free to argue in the comments. You like her or you don't like her, it's fine. And I was just thinking about how the Technodrome forums has a lot of fans that are more Mirage Studios fans. They're fans of the classic version of the Ninja Turtles. And a lot of people say that Technodrome forums are toxic. And I was thinking that it would be cool if a bunch of Mutant Mayhem and Rise of the TMNT fans signed up for the Technodrome forums to add a little bit of freshness to the Technodrome forums. It seems like a lot of the people on Technodrome forums have been there for a long time. They're firmly established. They've been there since like the 90s. They're firmly established in what they like. And I thought it could be fun to have a whole new wave of Ninja Turtles fans signing up for the Technodrome forums. It's a really great historical perspective on the Ninja Turtles. It's cool to see a Ninja Turtles forum with posts just about the Ninja Turtles going all the way back to the 90s. There's a lot of history on there. And I just thought people have abandoned the Technodrome forums because they say it's toxic. And I think people should, Rise of the TMNT fans, Mutant Mayhem fans should just invade the Technodrome forums almost and take it over. I was thinking that could be a cool way to refresh the Technodrome forums, bring a new generation of fans to the message board, and continue the legacy of the Technodrome forums. So just wanted to mention that about April O'Neil and Mutant Mayhem and the Technodrome forums. I thought of that over the past week. Thought that could be something interesting to pass along. And I'm also working on another April O'Neil video. I did the April O'Neil is white video about 5 months ago, and I'm working on another April O'Neil video. I'm thinking about calling it April O'Neil is still white, or something like that. I'm not too good at coming up with catchy titles for videos, but we will see. I think it's cool to have Ninja Turtles fans with different opinions and disagreements and arguing, and I'm still thinking about hosting a debate. People that are pro April's new look and people that prefer a traditional look. So, a lot of controversy around Mutant Mayhem coming out August 4th, 2023. It's, sometimes I used to have those videos, I refer to them as controversial, but they really weren't even controversial. They have, people agree for a large part. People agree, to a large extent. So, I don't know. Here we go. Mutant Mayhem, August 4th. That's it for Mutant Mayhem news and leaks and all that today. And the last thing I wanted to mention here, it's some fan art. Some really big fan art. Some big graffiti mural fan art. Usually I don't like graffiti. Usually it's like just nonsense, like scribbly writing, like just like tagging and that kind of stuff. But this is art. This looks good. So this guy posted this thing. I guess it's 12 feet tall and it looks good. I'm not the biggest fan of like wall art and graffiti and murals and stuff, but it looks good. And it was an interesting take on the Ninja Turtles to see just a big dedicated giant piece dedicated to a Ninja Turtle here. I don't even know how they do this. Maybe they sketch it out first and then paint it in. But looks good, and you can see the guy standing there in front of it, and he explains when he posted it, he was trying to reference a little bit of Last Ronin and a take on the original comics, and all freehand spray paint at a local free wall. So I guess they have this wall that's just dedicated for like graffiti art. But looks pretty cool. Just wanted to pass that along. Always like passing along little fan projects and stuff like that, and pretty interesting stuff. So that's it for today. Was this a good show? I don't know. Felt like a pretty good show. Thank you for joining me. T for thank you. T for Turtles. I appreciate it. All of you for joining me. We're Ninja Turtles fans here. Leona, Veronica, the Demon Turtle, Mr. Turtle, Teddy Gaming Review, Raffi, JR24, everybody else, Wistful, Krusty Krab, T for Turtles, and T for thank you, of course. SR Striker, thank you for joining me. Gabby, Dalton, Wistful, T for Turtles, and T for thank you. I always appreciate you guys joining me here. Sometimes I don't want to end the show. Sometimes I just want to let it ride. I'm feeling good right now. I'm live. I'm on the air. It's a good feeling. It's a fun feeling. I don't want the show to end. Maybe we'll talk about Teddy Gaming Review some more. I'll do it. Hello, I'm Teddy Gaming Review. Welcome to my British Ninja Turtles channel. I wear a top hat. They're like everyone in England. That's an offensive stereotype, but we can get away with that. Hello and welcome. Hey, one more thing about Teddy Gaming Review while we're talking about him. I saw a while back Teddy Gaming Review posted a couple videos. He posted a Street Fighter video and a Last Ronin 2 announcement video. And he had great thumbnails. He had this great that was actually my Hayden impression. Not Teddy Gaming Review. That was his co-host on his podcast. Teddy Gaming had these videos, Street Fighter and Last Ronin 2, great news scoops, breaking news. Then I saw the next day, Old Turtle Den posted pretty much the exact same videos with the exact same thumbnails. And I just felt so bad for Teddy Gaming Review. This is one of those things, you work hard, there's like breaking news, you rush to get a video out. And then like the next day, the Old Turtle Den releases a video with like the same exact thumbnail and totally like scoops you and, gets more views. And it's like, he's not copying Teddy Gaming Review. These thumbnails are pretty natural, but felt bad for the guy. Teddy Gaming Review, I am a trendsetter. Well, that was the Teddy Gaming Review segment of the show. And we've got comic book coming out tomorrow in the Armageddon game. Winding down, we're on the home stretch of the Armageddon game, so something to look forward to tomorrow. One of the main issues coming out. It's not an issue of the Armageddon game. It's not an issue of the Alliance. Tomorrow, an issue is coming out for the Ninja Turtles comics. One of the last few issues of the Armageddon game miniseries. It is issue number 138. I believe. So that's going to be exciting. Comes out tomorrow. Armageddon game, closing down. Just realized I still have my top hat on. I've been doing this whole segment with a top hat on. But that's it for the show today. Thanks again for joining me. I will see you on Thursday and Saturday for some new videos. And I'll see you next Tuesday for another live stream. Thank you for joining me here on my Ninja Turtles channel. This was the Ninja Turtles show. I think I've said a lot today. I think I've said too much. I've said it all. It's time to end the show. Thank you again. Happy Turtle Tuesday. One thing left to say, right, everybody? Cowabunga! Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment and share this video. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Ninja Turtles videos like this.